Paul Mancano from MASN All Access. Paul, how are you?
Good, Rob. It's another beautiful day. It's going to get a little hotter this weekend, so I'm enjoying today.
It is. I may don the polo with you tomorrow. Orioles last night, tough night, offensively getting it done. You know what they're doing, runners in score position. It seemed like Brandon Hyde was really on the shutdown inning last night and how he didn't get that from his pitching staff.
Yeah, it felt like anytime the Orioles tried to build some momentum, the Jordan Lyles would kind of let the pendulum swing the other way. So they took that 1-0 lead in the third, then bottom half of the inning, the Royals score 4. The Orioles tied the game up in the fifth 4-4, and then he relinquishes that tie game with a 2-run homer to Carlos Santana. So could not get the shutdown inning anytime they built some momentum.
And tonight, Brandon Hyde hopes to get starting pitching successful shutdown innings from the starting pitcher. Let's take a look at how Sandy Springs Bank starting pitching matchup. Sandy Springs Bank. Personalized banking for whatever life throws your way. Let's talk. Visit SandySpringsBank.com/real today. Bruce Zimmerman on the mound today, 4.87 ERA. He's trying to get some shutdown. And as Jonathan Hazley goes up against the O's, he's 0-3 with a 4.82 ERA. And before the game, you talked about some of the things that Bruce Zimmerman wasn't doing. It's all about the changeup with him. Sort of like John Means. The changeup is key for him. Look at these numbers. First 6 starts, opponents batting under 250. Lately, they're approaching 400. Slugging percentage. Such a big difference. And to me, the biggest thing on that, the biggest problem is at the bottom, Paul. Look at that, the whiff rate, 28.2 before, now it's under 10. And this is key to his performance and his effectiveness as well.
Absolutely, and Brandon Hyde said before the game he wasn't quite sure what was different, but he did notice that the depth of the pitch was not quite the same as he noticed through the first month of the season when Bruce Zimmerman had a 2.72 ERA, and it looked like that changeup was maybe not going to be as dominant as John Means' changeup, but it was trending that way, and it was becoming the best pitch in his arsenal. He was throwing the four-seam fastball a lot less, and he was throwing the changeup more. Now that changeup is not very effective. In the last 2 starts, he's allowed 11 combined earned runs in just 9 2/3, so he's got to get something figured out. He's worked with Chris Holt between starts to try to rediscover that changeup.
And to me, the key word, especially with Hyde, whenever he talks about his pitcher's changeups, he used the word depth.
Yeah.
And to me, a changeup has to move because a changeup that's flat, a good major league hitter is going to adjust to that, even if he has to double clutch.
Yeah.
It's all about the movement and the depth of that. And he's not seeing that right now with Zimmerman.
Especially when you have Bruce Zimmerman, who does not hit the upper 90s with his four-seam fastball. So the change in velocity is not going to create a whole lot of swing and miss. It's the movement that you have on that pitch. So the hope is that Bruce Zimmerman can rediscover that because his arsenal is pretty deep. Besides the fastball and changeup, he does have a couple other pitches that he can mix in there. So it's just getting that changeup to be a dominant pitch like we saw the first month of the season.
Now, you had a chance to talk to the youngest phenom of the Baltimore Orioles, Nick Vespi.
Yeah, Vespi has been phenomenal. Still has not allowed an earned run through the first month of the season. 24 innings between AAA and Baltimore. And he's another guy that does not have a whole lot of velocity, even less so than Bruce Zimmerman. He's not really going to hit 91, 92. He's going to top out around 90 miles an hour with his fastball, which is not quite a four-seam fastball. And I talked to him before the game today about developing that pitch, which is really more a cutter than it is a fastball.
Yeah, over the years, I've always thrown the same fastball, and I actually just found out, when we got our new GM and all the new analytics that my fastball was more like a cutter. And over COVID, I started doing a weighted ball program, and it helped me develop even more so of break horizontally. So, yeah, I've been able to mostly command that, and it's helped a lot.
How much does that compare to the kind of movement that you have with your slider as well, which I've heard moves quite a lot horizontally?
Yeah, my fastball has decent amount of horizontal break, and then I throw my slider off that, which even more so I like to expand off of it.
Got to switch sports here real quick. Let's talk football, because you played in high school. You were a quarterback and a halfback?
Yeah. Growing up until my freshman year, I was a quarterback, and then when my freshman year, I went to a halfback spot. We ran a wing tee offense, so we didn't really throw the ball too much, so I decided to go to running back.
You have the football with you here.
Yeah.
You get to play catch occasionally. I've seen you in the outfield.
Yeah.
Anybody else on the team that you get to throw around with?
Oh yeah, well everyone. Whenever I bring the football, everyone loves throwing it around. You know, it's a good tool. You know, to keep the shoulder hot and stay athletic. You know, we like to run around the outfield and stay loose.
Speaking of staying loose, you've worked as a starter in the past, but have been pretty much a reliever over the past couple years. Is it a different routine for you going from starting to relieving?
Yeah, I'd say as a starter, you know, you're up every 5th day. And as a reliever, you need to be hot every night. So, you know, I like to throw the football around, you know, keep my shoulder hot. I could play catch with a baseball as much as I want, but, you know, to keep some stress off of it, I like to use the football.
Gotcha. And back to your arsenal real quick. I've heard that you throw a curveball very rarely, but you threw one last night.
Right.
How much does it help to have a third pitch in your arsenal go along with the fastball and slider?
Yeah, it's good. You know, my curveball has a little bit more depth, so I like to use that against righties to try and make it a swing and miss pitch, or, you know, get weak contact into the dirt.
We've been fantastic so far, and we wish you continued success here.
Thank you.
You know, Vespi is a guy who's becoming kind of a fan favorite because of that 0 earned run average. You know, I love old-timers talk down on analytics, but analytics is just a fancy word for information. He didn't know what his fastball really did. New organization, well, not new organization, but new guys who run the organization gave him information on what his fastball does, and now he's a better pitcher.
Yeah, he's talked in the past about working with Justin Ramsey, who was a pitching coach in Bowie. Now he's up to AAA Norfolk under Buck Britton. Somebody who has had to work with just about every young pitcher who has come through this organization, and you see the kind of changes that they're making, and you're seeing the kind of changes that Chris Holt has made. Talking about Bruce Zimmerman, I mean, that changeup was not utilized before this season nearly as much as it has been utilized this year, and you see the kind of results that come out of that. So it is getting to work with these guys year after year during their key development years, 24, 25, 26, like Vespi is 26, and it's developing those pitches, figuring out what works and what doesn't, and how you can tweak along the way.